Hey beautiful people, my name is Tim and welcome to Draw2Much, my favorite channel here on YouTube where I love spending time with you guys and working on some drawings. Now, if you saw my previous video, you saw that I took this guy and inked him and colored him within 20 minutes, which honestly for me is a record, a big record. And something I want to do today is really kind of refine this. I've done this a lot. I have a ton of videos where I show you how to properly ink and properly color. I have lots of advanced tutorials that I have on my website and things like that. But I did this drawing in 20 minutes. Now I want to show you what happens when you take a little bit more time and focus on doing something right. So what I've already done is I've made a new file, which I'm going to open up here. And you can see we're back at the initial sketch that we were at when we started the video from last week. And what I want to go ahead and do here is properly ink. Once again, I'm going to try and do just the inking within 20 minutes. So I have it here on my timer for 20 minutes. We're going to start the clock. And I'm going to really focus, inking quickly of course, but inking properly for the next 20 minutes. Really focusing on trying to get these little nitty-gritty details that really truly make inking important in your piece. The other piece wasn't bad. And you may look at that and go, wow, you're so full of it, Tim, that you think you can do better than that. I can. And that's why I want to put time and effort and energy into doing this right. I want to show you guys that yes, you can draw something fast. And yes, you can do something very, very reasonable in a quick amount of time. But take a little bit longer, as you guys already know. But I want to show you the vast difference something can make when your brain goes into the thought of what you're creating. Okay? All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start my timer. I'm going to start with my inking pen, which is my technical pen, with my streamline turned all the way up because I like that I have that control that happens. And we begin. So we begin on a different layer. How about that? That way it's nice and smooth. Let's try this. Ah, yes, that's much better, much better. Now, you may be in that time of your life where maybe you're not quite understanding how shadows and highlights work just yet. And this is something I talk about in all of my videos, where how a line should be smaller pointing towards the light and then bigger when the shade is hitting it, when the shadows hit it. So that is my main focus here in this moment in time. Focus on where I think my light source is, and usually what I'll do is I'll have my main atmospheric light source coming from the top left, and then I will have a hard light source or a backlight from the right side. So it makes it really fun because you get this nice shading technique, a nice shadow technique, and then in that same shadow technique, whoops, you get to have some cool highlight there. And I feel that it just really makes things pop and it looks really, really cool. So there we go, there's two eyes, well, two eyebrows, and now I'm going to go ahead and focus in on the eyes. And I really, really love this technique here, starting from one side really thick to really thin to really thick again. I love how that looks, and you'll see later why I like that so much. And I'll take the time to fill in just a little bit of extra black coming in towards the eye, starting thick and going thin, thick and going thin, and really try to get some of the definition of these crazed eyes here. And then what I do like as well is bringing this line down, which is the muzzle. I don't always do it this way, and really focusing on getting those lines nice and smooth. Same thing here, thick to thin to thick. Nice one smooth stroke. Nice thing about Procreate having that streamline function. If you haven't tried that out, you really got to try it. It's excellent for inkers, excellent for cartoonists. You really got to give that a shot. I'm going to put a couple little crazed laugh lines here. Like Bear be going crazy. Bear be crazy, man. Bear be crazy. There we go. Alright, take this up this way a little. And you'll see just as we go through this. And I'm still trying to go somewhat quickly, because yes, I am on a time limit. but you'll see that my focus is to really dig out some of these lines. And I love drawing these lines here. And it's just two kind of sharp lines going this way and this way like this. And I just think that that sometimes can give a lot of structure to this teddy bear. Or shreddy bear. As if you guys don't know, I'm a FPV pilot, and I fly quadcopters, and that's what FPV is. First person view, and we fly racing quadcopters, and I do something called freestyle, which means I go find trees and things, and I take this quadcopter and I fly it around it at 60, 50 miles per hour and do flips and loops and all kinds of crazy stuff. It's basically really fancy for remote control airplanes, except it's with multi-rotors, or drones, if you will. And usually, if you're an FPV pilot, you have a FPV name or title. And usually you pick your own. It's not something that you get assigned to or anything. And I decided I used to be known as the RC Newbie. And I've been the RC Newbie for about 1.5 years now, give or take. And that's because I started a channel on YouTube called the RC Newbie, which still is there, where I was learning how to get into this hobby. And I wanted to create videos of my learning process. And did that for quite some time, and I started getting known for being the RC Newbie. And it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it very much. But then I decided, well, a lot of people are telling me that I know a little bit more about this hobby than I knew previously. So I can't really be the RC Newbie anymore. So I wanted a name that fit me and that I could have some fun with, and of course do some drawings behind. And my beautiful wife, she calls me Teddy all the time. Teddy bear, Teddy, because I'm really good at cuddling. And so I decided that I wanted to do something with teddy bears, but someone else already had Teddy FPV, which is kind of where I would have gone with that, the one name I probably would have taken. And so I went online and I said, okay guys, help me choose my FPV name. What do you suggest? It needs to have the word Teddy in there somewhere. And someone mentioned Shreddy Bear. And I was like, yep, that will do it. And so I designed this character, which is Shreddy Bear. And I wanted him to be very crazy and just really, really crazy and really have that attitude. So that was really fun. What do we got so far? We got 14 minutes left and I've barely begun. So I'm going to try and speed up here just a bit. I'm going to make my brush just a little bit larger and really focus in now on getting these external lines of Shreddy Bear a bit thicker than the inside of the body. And maybe I'll just go ahead and take the time now and just do the outlines for the whole body. Okay, may as well cover that now. You don't always need to do, I mean, usually I don't do it this way because I feel like it might disconnect some of the lines, but you're going to see that, I mean, especially since we're on such a time limit, that this is going to make a big change in effect. And then also, anything that comes closer to the camera needs to be drawn in thicker lines as well. So as I send something further back into the distance, like these goggles, when they go further back, I make their lines smaller, and as it comes closer to the front, I make them a lot thicker, because I really want to show this dimension of these FPV goggles that you would usually wear on your face that help you see from the vantage point of the race quad. I really want to show that they're coming towards us. Okay, so bolder lines really cover that. It's very, very helpful. And then going towards the ear, I will size that down, get this here, there we go, and come up here. Right here is where one of our little cuts or grooves are in his ear. And then let's get the puffiness of the cotton sticking through here, and I'll quickly just draw some very simple lines. Nice thick line, and I want to do a thick line to a very thin line, and then depending on where the ear stroke starts, which it starts about here, I'll come up here like that, and then this one here like this, and cut it back. Really focusing on every single line having a certain amount of thickness. So like this needs a little bit more like that, and then as soon as we get to the inside, then I'm going to focus on playing with those sizes. I really want each line to have a story to tell. So this one can be a bit thicker. Okay, this one's nice and thick because it is the outside of the face. Nice and thick. Little bump here just because, for no reason. And then here I want to get nice and thick and then thin. And then cut it off there. Here's thick to thin, cut it off there. Maybe I'll take this ear all the way up like that. And that looks so cool. That looks so much better already. And I'll show you guys. We'll go and look at the original artwork, and then we'll come back and look at this one so you can really truly see the difference here and see what this is all about. Okay, made a little mistake here, but I'm just going to blend that into that line. There we go. And here. And here. The previous drawing, this is all stuff I do for t-shirt designs. That's the main goal that I do this for, is for this character. I don't usually do t-shirt designs, but I like to get this design. Sorry, that's one of my clients. I like to get this design so that maybe I can buy some t-shirts with my logo on it and have something kind of fun and cool. This is, of course, where his straitjacket is going around his crotch, and making sure that lots and lots of definition and shadow in this area, because obviously being lower to the ground can also mean that you're farther away from light. Now, don't completely believe me in that, because depending on the flooring that he's standing on, there may be something called a reflective highlight that could be hitting him from the floor. So if there's white carpet on the floor, or white tile, or white bricks, or something like that, that's a very reflective surface, then you could have a very reflective source of light that could be flashing up on him, and that's something important to consider too. But if you're drawing him on, like in this house we're redoing right now that we're trying to move into, shag carpet, no joke. We have crazy shag carpets at our house that we do not want for any reason. Those are going to come up in a few days. Those are brown shag carpets, and they suck in a lot of light. They make a room very, very dark. And so in those moments, when you're looking at it like that, then there wouldn't be anything, and the shadows would be more intense, aka the lines that we would be having here as we're drawing him would be bigger and more intense towards the ground than they would be in the air where it's getting hit by the sun. We're at 9 minutes and 8 seconds left. We're doing really, really, really good here. This piece does not require 20 minutes of inking time, I don't think. But we're making really good progress, so we can really work on refining details. Like right here, for instance, I can erase here where one of these cuts in his face is going to be, and I'm going to go a little bit beyond what I need to here, because what I want to do is build up this mound of where the material is kind of creasing and folding. Excuse me. And then we're going to come down here and bring it back up and get some of these lines in here. And you're going to see, if you focus on this, you're going to see that it just looks so much better when you get just a large variety of lines. When you get all these different varieties of lines together, where the big lines and the little lines can cross, and everything just feels like there's a very large amount of color. Or a large amount of depth. The reason why I say color is because you will find the more colors that you use in a piece, oftentimes the more detailed, the more refined things look. And if you're a videographer, like I am, and you make videos for a living, then you know that the more that you can fill the whole color spectrum of your video, the more vibrant and full an image looks. Like right now, if you look at me, I see a lot of blues, I see some browns, and I see a lot of reflectiveness coming off of my screens. It's not a good image. It's not a good picture. But if you were to really focus on getting a good quality image, and then adding a ton of effects to it to really kind of build up all those color tones and things like that, it would be a very vibrant and beautiful picture. If you've ever seen pictures of blue sky and green grass, and the blue just seems super blue and the green just seems super green, those are very, very appealing images. And it's what your eyes want to see. And in the same way, your eyes want to see this extremely varying amount of line art, line work. And it really shows itself here in this moment when you look at this piece. Working on these little details here. And this is just basically where his head is kind of cut open per se. Maybe we'll put a stitch or two here or something. And then the antenna that would usually be on the goggles, on the FPV goggles. This character is definitely built for people who know what FPV is. It's a very niche market, but for those of you who are FPV pilots, I know you would appreciate this. So we can come up here and now go ahead and put in a little bit of this antenna here. There we go. Okay, and then finally we'll go ahead and top it off with its topper, just like so, and really focus on bolding it up on the outsides. Okay, it's a little too tall, so I'm going to back it off just a little bit and see if I can't build it up in some other way. That way it doesn't get cut off. Okay, there we go. So you can refine some things. You can work on some of the little details. Let me see what we got. We got 5 minutes left. I'm actually going to go ahead and stop this right here. I think that this is looking really, really refined. Other than this little part of his leg, which is also supposed to be stitched. So I can go like this. We'll grab the eraser, and I'll erase these key points here. Okay, and erase outside of his leg. And I just want to go ahead and put one more stitch in here and then show some of that puff just coming out. Maybe we'll do some strings and threads or something popping out showing that it's billowing outward. We can even build up some of the structure around him and show that. So we get all our different cuts, one on the ear, one on the face, one on the side of the face, and one on the leg, and the one on his stomach is hiding right now. So I think we've done very, very well. Let's go ahead and take a look at this in comparison to our original inked sketch. So let me go ahead and pull up the original inked sketch really quick. Take a good look at it. Like I said, it doesn't look bad. It's not bad at all. But now let's go ahead and take a look at this one again. There just seems to be a lot more definition. And if I turn off my inked layer, my pre-sketch layers here, you can see a lot of structure in there. And if I go back over to my other character here and zoom in on him, and we go ahead and remove all of the colors and things that make him up, there's the line work for him. It's kind of fuzzy, it's kind of grungy. Some things are not very clean. If I focus in on this eye here, you can see some distorted eye stuff. It feels very, very meh. Feels kind of meh. And then if we go back over to here and I zoom in on this eye here, there's more detail, there's more refinement. It looks really, really, really good. And it's going to be very welcoming of color, which is going to make a big deal. So in the next video, we're going to color him up again, and we're going to focus once again in 20 minutes on really refining these details. And it's going to look awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Remember, you can take a look at my website, Draw2Much.com. It is under construction. I'm doing some changes in there trying to get a better feeling for what's going on there. You can find me also on Facebook, Draw2Much on Facebook. Just look that up, and I pop right up. And take a look at all the artwork I've been doing. If you want to order a commission, you can do that over on Facebook. And then finally, just look forward to seeing you guys next time. Thank you to my patrons who have been so supportive, continuing to send your help to help me continue to do this, even when we're in this moment. Hopefully we'll be moving in the next month or so. We do have a house. We are working very, very diligently on it. Lots of painting, lots of everything, oh my word. So hopefully this background, it won't be here much longer, and I'll have my own studio, and we'll be able to really, truly get some stuff set up so it's a lot more professional and a lot more fun to hang out. God bless you guys. I'll see you next time right here on Draw2Much, one of my favorite places here on YouTube. You are amazing and beautiful people. Keep being brave. Step out of your comfort zone. I will see you next time. Bye.